what is going on? Another great Monday. We got some, I don't even know the right adjective to describe what me and Tiller have just done for the last 20 minutes. It's either extremely broken or just absolutely fucking brilliant. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's going to be like the rest of this show where we're going to figure it out as we go and hope for the best.
That's all we can do.
Right? So, speaking of hoping for the best, man, I showed you my enchiladas. They were awesome. And they went super good with the old brap sauce, dude, from Bro Taco Hot Sauce. BroTacoFoods.com. Use code PTTG for 20% off. Make sure that you hound Sean. Don't forget, August 1st is when Radberry drops. Let's see if I can get mine before Tiller again for the second drop. Sean, make it happen. I push the buttons. Right. Also, big thanks to Sunstar Sprockets and Chains, sunstar-braking.com. Use code PTTG30 during checkout to get 30% off your order. We got powertotheground.com. That's power the number 2 theground.com. Stop over there. I think Lifetime Juggies Club limited edition, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's starting September 11th, I think, is what I saw in the old emails. I don't read my emails very often unless it's like parts for my stuff shipping. Then I get all excited. But
it was 9/11.
Yeah. That's hopefully I make the cut. I do still have my I'm gonna have to wear it on this show. Maybe the next show. It's like a long sleeve t-shirt from the original Jug Club. It says, "How do you like my jugs?" And it's got 2 like water bottles sitting where my titties is.
As it should.
Oh yeah. Also, big thanks to NovaPro.media. That is NovaPro.media. There is no .com. They are so fancy. They don't need a .com because they're .media. NovaPro.media. Helping us out, letting me and Tiller push all the buttons, which I am not certain is a great idea still as of yet. I am surprised I can still hear and have not been electrocuted yet. So
qualified for the job.
Yeah, that's definitely they have more faith in myself than I have in myself. Also, just to let you guys know what we have been working on, I got a little anxious and stopped kind of waiting on Jesse. So we think we have the Discord call-in figured out. We've been testing it on phones as well as through the computer and all that. We think we have it figured out. But you go ahead, somebody that is on our Discord, or if you want to be on our Discord, you can find it at power2theground.com, as well as our Facebook page, Power to the Ground Podcast. Join it, call in. Let's see what kind of shenanigans we can get going. Let's talk some moto. Let's talk some Washougal with the old Washougal whoops. I think it was a split, a 3-way split between guys blitzing them, jumping them, and kind of doing both, blitzing the first half, jumping the second, or jumping the first and blitzing the second.
Yeah.
It was it did not disappoint. That is there
were times where it looked like a scene straight out of Bambi with just guys just hopping, all of them just jumping one right after the other, and then there are other times where you saw the combo and then Eli figured out a crazy way to kind of blitz through them at the end that we'll talk about. It was and jump out of them, absolutely launch out of them. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he looked like Mad Skills Motocross when those guys dropped the rear wheel going through the whoops, and you're like, how did they do that? Like, and then you sit there and you try it for like an hour and you just give up and admit defeat. Like,
it was actually kind of funny today when Scary was giving you crap for on that your one line on the jam track where you're slamming the wall and just like launching over. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that's what Tomac did this weekend. He just launched it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, pin it to win it, bud. Like that's all you can do. That's they make more fuel every day. You might as well burn it, you
Yeah,
know.
right.
So that's other than that, what we got J Mart coming in too strong, dude.
That is, there's a number of bets I have made and would have made before I said that he was the first repeat overall winner in the 250 class.
Yeah, it's what we're
I'm at a
in
loss.
7 rounds and we finally have a repeat winner.
Yeah.
I would have lost that too, man. I for sure would have said it would have been in the first 3 weeks, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, but and then just but after his accident though, would you have guessed that J Mart was the first guy that was going to get the repeat?
I would have guessed J Mart before somebody else. I don't know if I would have said 100%, but he definitely would have been in the top 2. Him and Coop, man. I think that's
After his accident, I thought J Mart was out on podiums for a couple weeks. He came back stronger than I expected.
I'm not necessarily saying like after the first week or whatever, I wouldn't have guessed it. But going into the season, like right out of Supercross, I'd have been like, J Mart, probably your first repeat winner, stamp it. But it would have been in the first 3 or 4 weeks. Definitely not this deep into the season, dude.
Yeah, just after that accident in Thunder Valley, man, I was like, no, he's out. Then he's out, and then he comes back, and then he's the first 2-time overall winner. I don't know what to do.
Making it look easy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, technically, it would have been J Coop this weekend, so it was right there. But just the fact that still, J Mart was there to even take advantage of an opportunity to get an overall is amazing. I got nothing but respect for him.
J Coop's wild ride is nothing but sheer McAdoo luck.
Oh, I've got that pulled up, and we can watch that later if we want to.
Oh yeah,
because it's not advertising related. I don't think we'll get.
Yeah, I mean, if we do, fuck YouTube, man. Like,
we'll do it right at the end.
Yeah, there's a reason why everybody's leaving them anyway. So, just saying. Sorry for our YouTube listeners, but it's the copyright stuff is
too.
Yeah. We shouldn't get in trouble on Instagram, but nice background, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's yeah, we can see each other's computer screens, which gets weird sometimes. But either way, the 250s, I think what surprises me the most about Cooper's wreck was not that he wasn't hurt, it's that the bike actually stayed in the track limits. The way he wrecked, I fully expected that bike to clear the safety barrier.
Yeah, it didn't. It just, that safety barrier was just enough to stop it. I don't know what it was about, maybe if the handlebar caught it and it was already slowing down and you couldn't just tell. But if I would have been one of those people right there, I probably would have needed to change my pants for one reason or another.
Oh, yeah, especially because during moto, you don't entirely expect the it's not like GNCC or off-road or enduro or something like that where you are 99% likely or you're 99% certain that you will be like dodge, duck, dive, dodge or whatever that dodgeball movie thing is, like vehicles. Like when you go to a professional moto track, you know that there's like a 50% chance as opposed to like off-road and enduro and stuff that's like 85 to 90% chance, and it's but the lady that was recording the video got out of there, man. She was gone. Like, we missed the whole last half of the wreck, and I don't blame her. If I was there too, I'd have been like, every man for himself, we're getting out of here. I am not catching a 250 with my face.
Yeah, you don't expect a guy on the straightaway all by himself to all of a sudden just...
Oh, yeah. It looked like a hill climb, dude. Like, where she was standing, it really looked like it should have been one of the, like, the Ryan Sipes hill climbs. That's a steep hill, dude. And then, well, we had Sean out there hanging out under the billboard doing Sean things, dude.
Did you
I
see
think
his Instagram stories where he put one of those he put one of his stickers on the backside of whatever billboard he was standing under? I was trying to watch. I
no.
was trying to look for him when I was watching the races because I knew where he was. But every time, either when they came around there, I'd either forgot about it, or the few times I did, I couldn't make out the people that were standing there. But yeah, he was taking shots from underneath it, but like the billboard he was standing, he had like cleverly placed one of his stickers right there on the backside of it, so it was like sticking out on. You could
Oh
see
yeah.
the top of his videos. Pretty clever.
Dude, he is pretty clever when it comes to the old marketing, man. That's the
Mm-hmm.
old what was it, through the 90s and early 2000s, the old you remember like the street teams for the bands
Mm-hmm.
and like different skater wear and stuff like that, like sign up for the street team, get a bunch of stickers and tag everything.
Yeah,
We need to bring that back.
we should. We should. I was thinking about that just the other day. There was a documentary I watched about some guy that started a big portion of that with, I don't remember what it was, but something about some stickers related to like Andre the Giant's picture or whatever. I didn't know what they were, but when I lived in Charleston, those things were on the back of every stop sign along with bands and everything else. And I was thinking, the next time I go, I'm just going to take my Bros Taco stickers and slap them on everything.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah, we
need a
need
little bit of shine in their life.
yeah. We need Bro Taco stickers, Power to the Ground stickers, and we need to bring back the old Moto Triple X stickers, dude. I
Mm.
need to get a hold of Jordan and be like, dude, hook me up with like 1,000 stickers and let's see what we can stick them on. I have a bunch on my table here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen my table, but you can see it somewhat, but it's all sticker bombed. I got years of stickers saved up that I finally had enough to cover this table that my brother borrowed from Buffalo Wild Wings because I needed a studio table.
Yeah. No harm.
No, I mean,
Take
they
it
don't
more.
want it back now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
redecorate to match.
oh yeah. What other notables happened in the 250s? I'm drawing a complete blank.
Man, there wasn't. I mean, the first
Pierce
race,
Brown in the top 5 overall. That's crazy.
I wasn't expecting him to come back like he did. He put in a good ride. He did some battling with RJ um, in the first moto. So the first moto, just from the get go, the whole shot was kind of exciting because this is one of the ones where ever since the Blue Crew horsepower, the Starbikes have really been strong. This is one of those tracks where you're likely to see just a wave of Yamahas around the front, and that's how
Yeah.
this first moto whole shot or start was. You see the 3 of them, and then you see 2 red bikes, one on each side of it, and you couldn't tell what it was, but it was one Honda, and on the other side it was Pierce Brown. But the Honda also, you weren't expecting to be Carson Mumford getting the whole shot in hole 1.
Yeah,
And
that's
he went out
crazy.
there and he rode, and he later said that he was totally, reasonable, but he went out there and he was just riding, and it ended up being that he just kind of was so in the moment, he forgot to do the whole breathing and everything and just ended up getting arm pump and fading back. But he was just so excited about the fact that he led a couple of laps. He's like, that's a win. I'll take that. Even if he
Yeah.
did end up fading back to 10th or whatever it was, he ended up finishing in that moto.
11-11 for 11th overall.
Yeah. I mean, he got a whole shot and led some laps. That's killer for that kid on that team.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
I don't know of anybody that hasn't done that before. Like I've done that where I've ripped a start and I'm like, oh man, I'm up front, and I'm holding on tight, and I'm like, I gotta keep up. And then all of a sudden
Mhm.
you're like, oh shit. Like too much, especially with the way these guys are riding motos now, where it's a 30-minute sprint, dude. It's not like where it used to be, where you would see them like come out, maybe do 1 or 2 hot laps, and then kind of chill until they get 10 minutes left or something like that, or the halfway
Mhm.
card, and then start pushing again. These guys are going out start to finish, just pushing as hard as they can. So
Yeah, it was pretty good. But Brown did good. He was up there at the front with RJ and Mosman and J Mart battling up there on the front in the first moto. Actually, another thing in the first moto, the whole shot, or at the beginning, at the start, it was a huge pileup in the back, but it was just, of course, the 2 pro circuit guys, Fortner and Shimoda, came together. Shimoda pulled off, got his bike fixed up. I mean, it was a pretty wild one. but he pulled off, got his bike fixed up, and came back and finished the whole moto and did pretty good. And then Jet didn't have a great start in the first one. I can't remember where he ended up. I think he ended up getting seventh. Oh,
Yeah,
seventh, and then Hunter was fifth. So they both kind of came up, but Jet, story of the past few races for him, came up, bad start, and can only make it so far in that time. And I think this is a theme of this racetrack is that it's not the widest one, but some of it's fairly one line, with those tight hairpin ones or some of the 180s and then a 90, some of those tighter corners on the track, there's just not two ways to pass them, because even though the track prep and the way it wasn't super ruddy, it's just those corners in the specific way they are, you pretty much end up getting just two very specific ruts, and you kind of gotta work with it there, and those aren't the passing opportunities. So it just made it a lot harder for a guy, even with his speed, to make it through the pack. And that was just kind of the story of his weekend, where with what happened to Cooper in the second moto, he still came out 2 points over Jet on the weekend, which is kind of insane.
Yeah. And then how about old Dylan Schwartz, dude?
He had a great start in the second moto. That was exciting because you could see it in one of the 450s too. You could see it off the start, some yellow up front, and it was really kind of exciting. Yeah, Schwartz killed it. He got a really great start in that second moto and just took advantage of it, rode it out.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if that doesn't prove to people that on this track, the old Suzuki's laying down some decent stuff going on, and that people just don't want to kick bikes anymore.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about Max. There's actually a funny thing I heard on some of the interviews from Max, and part of why he got such a great start and get going. But the second moto, just starting the second moto was a little bit better, but I can't remember. I meant to go back and watch it. He ended up fading back. I can't remember if he went down or why he ended up fading back a few spots at the beginning of the first moto, but right off the beginning, he was right up front with Jeremy Cooper and J Mart, but then he kind of something happened and he got swapped or passed by RJ, Fortner, and Brown, and then Fortner went down and he fell back too. RJ was great this weekend, and for a track like this, as hard packed as it was, and as crazy as he's been riding, this was actually surprising. This is the first one where he's not pushed it too hard and gone down, but I don't know if maybe that's just because the nature of the corners, a few not as many off-camber ones maybe, or just something about the nature of the corners themselves make it's not as easy to kind of push so hard into it like the tracks recently where he's lost it so much.
This is also one of the first weeks where he hasn't led at least one lap in one of the motos either.
Mm-hmm.
That I can remember.
So maybe there was some subconscious there where it's a different kind of pushing or something for him. But yeah, he did pretty good not going down. I mean, he still put in a pretty solid ride there for the weekend. And then, Jeremy Martin's riding amazing. He ends up getting an overall because Jeremy Cooper goes down at the end of the second moto. Leaves with points up on Jet because Jet just didn't have that great of a weekend either. The first 250 moto wasn't super exciting to watch. After they got settled in, it was kind of the way it was. The second one was a lot more exciting to watch with everything that was going on. And then right there at the end, even if you know the results, I think the second 250 moto was worth a watch by itself. And I knew something happened to Jeremy Cooper when I sat down to watch it because I didn't get to watch him live. But then finally oh my God, does it Jeremy Cooper? Justin Cooper.
That's the second time in a row, man. Like
too many J's. Too many J's. So I knew something happened to Jacob, but then when I finally get to watch it, I'm sitting there the whole time. You're just going through. It's like nothing's happening to him.
They never showed it on the broadcast. Yeah.
Well, they did. It just. Well, they didn't show what happened, but even then, we're going, and all of a sudden, you're past the two laps to go card, and you see it. You see J Mark come around a corner, and then you don't see Jeremy come around or Justin come around a corner. And then they showed it later, but I was sitting there waiting the whole time for something to happen, and all of a sudden it just happened unexpectedly right there at the last minute, and
Oh
which
yeah,
is part of what made it interesting.
yeah.
So it
He
was pretty
yard
good,
sailed.
yeah. But
That's
Hunter put in an okay performance. I actually one of my off bets this weekend. I think I'm going to keep up. It was kind of a neat way to do it. We picked one 450 guy, one 250 guy, and it was whoever's combo of those two came out of the weekend with the most points. And I had Ferrandis and Hunter. And when I started watching, I was like, "Oh crap, this isn't going to go well. Hunter's not doing too hot for me." He ended up putting a pretty solid, consistent ride in. Wasn't too bad, I guess, but I don't know.
It wasn't.
Not the greatest.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. We got
Yeah.
Austin Forkner broke the top 10 for what it's worth. He's starting to
And
put
after
himself
that
back together.
first moto, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. What I'm surprised though is, are the gases really like, so there's no difference. I mean, there are differences, but there's no like real big difference between the Husqvarna and the gas
Mm-hmm.
and the KTM, right? So why is it the KTM doesn't have as big of a following? Like, if it wasn't for Prebula and Varize, KTM would only have one 250 in the top 20.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like we were talking about before, I think part of that is that, maybe some privateer support or contingency money that makes it not as likely for those privateer guys. And then the rest of it is the fact that the way the factory programs have worked out recently. Right now, Husqvarna has just had a solid 250 team that they've been building, or, the whole group, they've put a pretty solid 250 team in the Husqvarna group, right? Gas is the brand new one, which was the KTM team. So they've got a little bit there. And now Max Voland is just he's kind of the lone man out on the factory KTM spot with the way that they've done the transfer. So I think in the top 20, the KTM group representation is just kind of the shifts they've been making over the past year or two. It's just kind of the way the cards have landed.
Yeah, it could be. That's I just didn't know if it was that outmatched or what. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. If it weren't for the fact that if I think for all things considered, we could say when you look at the Husqvarna gas and KTM representation there, we might as well considering them. I don't know, call it give them each a 0.9, instead of a 1, and then add them all up together. And outside of Yamaha's, I'd have to look and see. I don't know if Yamaha's might be the only other one to go, but Yamaha's so far and above clearly the best 250 right now.
Well, that's KTM's due for a generation year, and I think there's already been leaks of the 2023 KTM, and they definitely have made some changes to at least get more air into the motor and across the motor. So maybe they are trying to step up the horsepower game, because everyone that messes around with internal combustion motors knows when you make more power, you're going to make more heat, So I don't know. I would like to see them maybe make a high horsepower 250, but I don't know if they're capable of still touching Yamaha, because Yamaha's due for a generation year as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen, especially once they all get to that thing. And who knows how long it'll take before, and if sometime between now and, if and when electrics ever really take over as the main racing thing, which that is the main racing one, is a little different than the consumer one. But it'll be interesting to see if between now and then, if we end up getting full electronics packages allowed on the bikes before there's ever really a switch to an aim for electronics. If they're just like, no, we know we're going to electric, sooner than later, we're just not even going to bother with trying to implement, a standard traction control type thing to where it's like, oh no, we know we can build more horsepower, out of these bikes, but then we got to worry about tractability and usability and everything like that. But if they're allowed to get traction control on it, then it's at that point, it's like, oh no, we're just going to make some gnarly ass horsepower bikes and throw some traction control on it and call it a day.
Yeah, but then it's like Formula One, man. Like, why not
Mhm.
just let a computer drive it? Let's just have remote controlled cars. You know?
Well, I mean, it would be if they did it. I imagine for this, it would be a standard where they'd get a standard, kind of like they do in some road racing. They kind of have a standard electronics package that's limited in how much it can do. So then they got to work backwards from that instead of just a pure twist the throttle. And then too, there's the difference between like, well, we just want traction control versus, well, we got it to where they can change the traction control map between like this corner and that corner and everything else depending. So it's like all you got to do is, well, I know I'm going into this corner, I press that button and twist, and I go into this corner, I press that button and twist. I don't think they'll ever get to that. Just the difference between, who's better at tuning
Pushing a button.
traction control, so that the riders can maybe just still sadly just twist the throttle and rely on the traction control for the most part.
So
It changed the game, but then at that point with the 250s, then they'd all at least be, I don't know. You still probably don't want those bikes to go too fast. I think that's the whole point of the 250s to an extent.
I thought it was just because they were lighter and easier to handle than the 450s, and you have to be kind of special to want to race a 450. But
I don't know. Big boys like Brandon Hartray still got to have something to ride.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm not a small guy. Neither are you. You're tall as shit,
Nope.
and like you would look goofy on a 250. Like I'd look, big on
a 450.
I could see that. You look goofy on the P Dub too. But...
Oh yeah, real goofy.
I don't know. Yeah, it's it will definitely. I just wasn't sure because I know Yamaha has that. They accentuated it with their Tenere 700, right, where they messed with the countershaft angle. They lifted it up. It's up quite a lot, like quite higher than it is on normal bikes, so that when you do hit the gas, instead of the rear wanting to squat real bad, it pushes that swing arm down. And I wasn't sure if it's almost is like traction control. I mean, you hear everybody that's ever ridden one of those or reviewed one of them, like they all say like this thing sticks 100% to the ground. And with Yamaha pushing as much power as they are through their 250 already, and presumably even their 450, if these guys are like, nah, put the stock stuff back on, like I don't need the ported and float head, I don't need the +1 valves, like stuff like that, like let's just calm down. How long until we start seeing stuff like that as well? Because there's really not that huge of a difference in the swing arm length of the Tenere compared to like the 250 or the 450. And it should be pretty interesting to see as the horsepower goes up where these guys start looking to find traction. And the adventure market is a pretty good place to try it because you're running 600s to what's your GS, like a 1200, and you're trying to take that down gravel roads, dirt roads, all that kind of stuff. So maybe we'll start seeing some of the manufacturers kind of playing around with that type of technology where it's very old school rudimentary technology, but it hasn't ever really been done. You know what I mean? Where instead of going to a full electronics package, let's let our engineers figure some shit out, instead of our IT department. But I don't know. It will be interesting because I don't see them not chasing the horsepower game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the interesting thing about and kind of why I would like to see it not be so, or I don't know, add another class that is um, similar to MXGP and works ish style, so they can actually really test that stuff. Like, yeah, this is nice, for the production thing because then they're testing what they're making and they're making, KTM's doing things like the limited edition factory bikes so they can keep stuff out, and that's kind of fun for the consumer too. But not having something to where they can really
Yeah,
gamble some crazy shit, they're probably going to be less likely to test. Yeah, they can make their prototypes at home, but if they're not having a class where they can really go out and test it as well,
like
I mean,
an
yeah, I know they do it in
open
moto.
class.
Yeah, I know that's what they're doing in MXGP. They're testing crazy frames and stuff like that. I don't know. Why not do it here too? I don't know. You know, it's different. We ride different. Everything. It'd just be cool to have an extra class for that 250 or 450 or a little bit of both or something. I don't know. But I mean, there's
Just
a whole lot of
just
technique.
leave it open.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
a whole
Group
lot of
B
stuff there.
rally,
But
dude.
oh
Like
yeah, back in
I
the
don't know
day.
if you guys follow rally, but Group B rally lasted like 4 years before enough people died where they were like, nah, this was a bad idea. I don't
Yeah.
see that happening in moto though. Yeah, I mean, you would get guys that show up on like CR 500s, which would be awesome. You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
guys that are taking CR 500 motors and putting them in CRF 450 frames with all the new fancy technology in the frame and suspension and brakes and everything, and then just letting that thing eat, dude. Like,
And throwing supermoto wheels and suspension on it too.
yeah,
Sick.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure their neighbors love them warming up the old 500 like in the
Yeah.
morning, getting ready to go to work. Just
Yeah, just gonna take the CR500 Supermoto to work real fast. Hope I get there on time.
yeah, yeah, but it's like stuff like that is what you could really see, and I think it would be awesome to do stuff like that. Like I would love for him to do something like that in like GNCC or Works Racing also, where you're just
Hmm.
like the only rule is don't die or injure somebody else on the track,
Hmm.
like that's I can't hate on it, because that's where the innovation comes from, is from guys wanting to be faster, better, turn better, or jump higher. Or once you take that style competition out of a sport, it dies.
Hmm.
Like that style thing. I mean, they did it with like NASCAR. It used to be do whatever you have to do, and we saw great advancements through the age of cars, and now it's kind of like normal passenger cars, and now it's not like that anymore. Everyone runs the same thing, you
Yeah.
know.
There's not much about NASCAR that's anywhere. You do not see the Camaro technology from NASCAR on the Camaro in your car. And if you do, it's tiny stuff in the engine on this very high performance ones. And even then, that's not much for everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, and
But
that's
yeah,
I don't know. Bring it back, Davey
bring
Coombs.
it
If you
back.
ever get bored and accidentally click on our link, this is what we want. We are the
So
people.
today, I think some of you guys listening may have this, and I think I saw it in my email. I saw somebody in one of the discords I was in was shared. They got a survey from Feld. So I imagine you
Oh,
probably got one in your inbox, and I've got one. But some of the questions they were sharing, I haven't looked at it yet, were pretty. They weren't quite loaded questions.
let me
But
see
my
if I got
comment,
it.
my comment was that I think mine came from MX Pro Sports. Is what the came. If it's the same one, or I got another survey from MX Pro Sports at the same time this guy got one from Feld. And some of the questions were really loaded or seemed really directed. My comment was like, that's almost like they're fishing for a very specific answer or a very specific, like, skewed set of data to help their argument they already have. And so one of the questions was, let me see. I can
Yeah,
pull it
I
up real
didn't get
fast.
one.
One of the questions.
Oh, I got a MX Sports one.
Yeah, so it's probably the same one. So, like, this one question said, "How do you view Monster Energy Supercross and Lucas Oil Pro Motocross?" The two The only two answers available were they are two variations / seasons of the same sport. The other answer was they are different sports entirely. Like, that's not, no. Like, you don't, those aren't the only two answers to that question. And then there was another one that said, would you like to see an overall champion or collaborative series between motocross and supercross?
Bring
Doug
black,
says,
blue, and gold.
Yeah, Doug says, yeah. So
bring it back. So I actually have it. It's right there. It's from MX Sports, but it's for Monster Energy Supercross.
Oh, okay. So never mind. Yeah, that was the same one. Yeah. So then I've got the same one in Manbox. I haven't looked at it yet. Yeah. So like some of those questions were kind of pointed towards making it sound like, you know, they're looking for research for that. But what was interesting was the fact that they're wording those questions so specifically that it's kind of leaning towards getting anybody that answers that question to kind of give them a certain set of data that's going to say like, oh yeah, look, no, everybody clearly says yes.
Yeah.
You know,
I guess I would be an avid fan. Let's fill this thing out right now. So the first one says, which of the following best describes your level of interest in Monster Energy? It's like, I occasionally watch it. I'm an avid fan. Supercross is fun. I like going with my friends and family, but I don't watch it on TV. I like motocross gear and products, but I'm not interested in attending the event or watching it on TV. Simi Valley. Monster Energy Supercross is not for me. So I guess I would probably be the avid fan. Please check Supercross ones that you have attended. A lot of them. I don't know.
All.
Yeah. That's stupid.
I mean, I could see that question being useful for qualifying what kind of
yeah, like what kind of fan I actually am.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, call me on the phone. I'll tell you exactly what kind of fan I am. With whom do you attend the Monster Energy Supercross? Wife, friend, boys. Yeah. What up, Jesse? We're answering the Monster Energy Supercross fan survey. It is not as fun as what I thought. They won't let me write my own answers in, which is kind of bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there's sometimes when that's reasonable when you're going to get a ton of them and, you know, need to make sure it's data because then also.
Well, if you send it from MX Sports and then I open it up and it's actually from Feld, that's kind of fucked up because I like Moto way more than I do Supercross. I'm still an avid fan for Supercross because I'm an avid fan of dirt bikes in general. However, if they were holding two races on the same day, I would be watching Moto over Supercross.
Yeah.
Dude, but going back to the thing, like fishing for answers, I 110% believe that they should bring back the blue and gold number plate from like back in, what was it, like the mid 80s or something like that, when it was Wrangler and then Camel, the Camel Supercross series or whatever. They need to bring that back, man. And it's not like, I feel like there's a lot more interest just from talking to people throughout my workday, and even them saying it, like, bring it back. Why can't we figure out? I mean, it's easy for us to figure it out. You just take all the points from the end of Supercross and start adding them with the beginning of Moto, and to figure out who the actual top 5 or top 10 riders are in the nation. You know what I mean? It's not that complicated, but for whatever reason, they make it so complicated that it's ridiculous. See, Ty's with me. He's all about the CR500 and the 450 frame, and he's all Moto. Like, did we just become best friends? I think so. You know, yes. Hell yeah.
See, I've got the. Do you want to share my screen? I got the survey up here.
Yeah, I'm answering it, dude. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I
So
got all
let's
excited.
see, it's your favorite rider could win the championship. Would you prefer it to be me personally? Both equally. The champion's a champion in one of them. If they can get both, that's a whole nother level. Let's see. Would you like to see an overall champion or collaborative? Fuck yes is not an answer. Okay. Have you attended? Yes.
I feel like this is kind of skewed, like for us though, because like I work in the industry, and you're a huge fan as well. So it's like, what, what is the average fan? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
I
I
know
mean,
there.
some of these are these are qualifying ones, so they can do that when they get into it and start looking at it. But wait, really, are those really the only actual questions they ask about?
No, there. I'm at 16 now.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only, not even half the questions were ones about the seasons or series, really, and then there's just a bunch of um, qualifying questions. Oh my goodness.
A lot of it is what do you call it? I'll be retired today. Um, a lot of it is like demographic questions.
That's what I'm saying. So they can qualify the person that's answering the question, so they can sort it and say like,
Oh,
well, what do all the single males in 25 to 34 want,
yeah.
and then what do all the old married guys, what do they want to see? And, so they can sort it like that. But that's what I'm saying is just I thought there would be way more questions about, and this is even more loaded. It was clear all their questions, the few questions about the actual survey were, do
Yeah.
you want to see them combined or not?
And that's question 20 is definitely a that's a loaded question. Like, why do
Oh,
you need to know if I'm employed by the motorcycle community, dude? You know what I mean?
oh, not gonna share my income on the screen. You just don't need to know how broke I am.
Ha, just broke enough. Right?
Yep. Where do I live? I still think I live in the Mid Atlantic, but whatever. Southeast. I guess Mid Atlantic really does make sense if you consider all of North America. I still think it's dumb. Dirt bike. Riding on. Ride. Short.
Okay, so there's what, 22 questions. And it is that was kind
Yeah,
of
that
weak.
was just go take the survey. Tell them you want to see
Combined scores,
combined scores,
110%.
and
Do it.
let's call it a day. Because like
Yeah.
Jesse shared that graphic in Discord that showed if we were going by that right now, obviously it might be a hair different if we gave them both the same point structures. Because right now they're not on the
Yeah.
same as far as points per win. It's close, but it's not the same. Ken Roxon would be the overall champion if things ended today.
Yeah.
But also, then that changes the game though, because then that gets rid of the whole like, yeah,
One season.
you may want to be a Supercross champion, a sub champion. That's cool, but depending on how your contract's written, it may be worth it to say like, fuck the Supercross grind to be the Supercross champion because whatever Kenny didn't go do what Cooper did, obviously that left Cooper hanging, and now well, Kenny's results this weekend we'll get into, but and him saying he's sick, but I mean, still he's got the better chance of being the overall champion because he's just riding. He's like, I know I can do 90 the whole time instead of doing 110%, and then now I gotta, come back
Yeah,
up.
but
So
if you do combine them, you can automatically take out a lot of guys like Chisholm, Mookie. Um, Jerry Robbins actually been making a pretty decent push in outdoors this year.
surprisingly,
Yeah, like you can automatically take the typical single season guys just out of the question. And how does that? I mean, I will be the first one to tell you I bitch about the guys that want to sign a factory contract and only race a half a season. Because
I
to
don't
me,
think I don't think that gets rid of that. I think it just changes the way you look at it because it's still like
yeah,
those guys aren't winning championships anyways.
yeah,
They're
I'm
out
not
there for
saying it'll.
just they're gonna go like,
Yeah,
hey, I just want to ride one half of it because I know I can't win especially if it's combined, that really reduces the pool. That really clearly separates the pool of guys that could potentially do it, right? So like Mookie's like, hey, I just want to ride the Supercross part of it because it's fun. I like Supercross fans. I like the Supercross part of it, but I want to do outdoors. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
fine. I don't think it changes anything. Because like
I mean,
Chiz,
maybe
he
not.
doesn't. It's like I don't want to ride outdoors. Well, he's not gonna win outdoors anyways.
No,
So like, okay, fine. You don't want to race those part of it. Like, don't do it. I don't think it changes that so
I
much.
think if we do it, I think it will change the
How you said
factory.
do.
Yeah, do. I think that if they do implement this, it will change the factory contracts from the ground up. And you won't have the teams like Freezy's team, I can't, Bullfrog Spas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are now even less relevant than what they were before. And I think if they bring back a Grand National champion.
Are they though?
Yeah.
Because they weren't winning championships.
Yeah, but now they're still just a half-season team.
So
I'm a Browns fan, man. I know all about half-season teams.
They made money. Hopefully, they made money when they were operating. Something happened. The riders made money when they were operating, not winning championships, even in a clearly defined Supercross season. If we say that like Supercross is now a sub-season of a whole championship.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it from like a manufacturer's point of view. The guy stroking the checks, not the fan. I'm not going to stroke you a check if you're only going to do half of it, and your guy rides backwards on the track anyway. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get your point, but I just don't see it the same way. I would look at it as the same thing, like because they never had a chance of winning. Whoever was writing the check for them for the Supercross season knew they weren't going to win a Supercross season, but they were still writing them a check anyways.
It's still marketing.
Yeah, they could still market the same way.
Yeah, it's just now they're only marketing for half of the 21 season. I know personally my contracts are for the whole 21 season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't write half-year contracts. And if they come out with this, that just means that we're doing them all now, boys.
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably change the way some places do some deals, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If I were Honda and doing it, like I'd view it the same way. I would change how I paid championship bonuses and those related payouts, and that's all I would change. I wouldn't do anything different.
But I think Vince Freeze, for example, most of his pay is probably bonuses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If he gets Supercross bonuses and the marketing stays the same between the series, if more people end up watching Supercross.
Well, more people do on TV, 100%. Yeah, you don't have to sit in front of your TV for 4 hours.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I wouldn't change it anyway. It'd be. I'm sure something is going to change, but I just don't see it for those other teams. If people are going to pay them money for whatever marketing they're doing, as long as their marketing opportunities, all like Supercross pit parties and the pits at the motocross races, I'd do the same thing. If anything, I think it may dial back Supercross a little bit because ideally, I'm sure part of their goal is to raise attendance and viewership of outdoors too, right? So maybe they'll be like, okay, well, no, we need to give more support to have a few more factory supported teams at outdoors instead of Supercross where it's a bunch of those, and then split them up a little bit more. Maybe we'll find a balance there. I think that would be kind of cool instead of it being just factory guys and just privateers.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a better TV deal out of it too, instead of both of them stroking their own deal. Use them both together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For sure.
Carter. Freeze is the only toy dirt bike you can find left over at Target. The good guys are all sold out. It's true, man. My kids have like 5 of them, and they're all Freeze. I took all the good ones and I put them in the closet for later. Like, you can go break Freeze, dude. Have fun.
I hope if they do this, they also have more money to make better fucking toy dirt bikes. Those things were pathetic. Like, if you want to make ones, well, it's like the full, like the Bel Ray ones or whatever, those are sick. But those little
Yeah.
ones, I think that he's talking about at Target, the ones they just came out with
Yeah, the
in
little
last year, the little SX ones, where like they don't even look
they
like real
have
dirt bikes. Oh god.
the little ones don't. I have the 1/24 scale ones, are the
Oh
ones
yeah,
that came out last year, and
yeah.
those actually look pretty good.
Oh yeah, the Bellray ones are sick. Those are good.
Yeah.
But those little tiny like Target like SX ones that they were advertising a lot just looked like total trash. It was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're kind of weird looking, man.
Oh
But
yeah, they do.
my kids
Well,
love them, dude.
oh
So I
your
don't care.
kids, yeah, because your kids like yeah, they love them now until then they got to start looking at it and be like, Dad, the motor doesn't look right on this, and these
It looks like
plastics
Robbie
look kind
Renner
of
racing Minios, dude. It's all battery.
yeah, right.
But
Oh,
let's jump 450s real quick before we
oh,
get too far
well.
into this, dude.
Before let's finish off with 250s. Overall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had Jeremy Martin, R.J. Hampshire in second, Justin Cooper with third, Jet Lawrence finished fourth overall, Pierce Brown finished fifth. Let's give a hand to where's she at? Oh my god, where'd it go? Jordan Jarvis got a 34th overall. She qualified to be on the gate in both motos this weekend, which is pretty sick. Say what you want about it being a smaller field because they're out in the middle of fucking nowhere in the corner of the country, but she showed up with her team, qualified, got in both motos, not as an alternate, and finished 34th overall. That's a huge confidence booster. That's awesome for her to be able to go out and do that.
I don't think if anybody actually did say, hey, she only made it because it's so small because it's in the Pacific Northwest, I'm probably going to say that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So the Pacific Northwest does have a lot of riders up there.
Oh, there's a lot of locals that showed up. I'm just saying as far as like the travel of the circuit guys, that show up to every race, there's a few of them that showed up. But either way, dude, it doesn't matter. She showed up. She qualified. She went there.
36.
They didn't.
You have in 36. You have Devin Harriman, who was on the show not too long ago. He's riding with it like he hasn't even been cleared to actually ride yet. And he's out there pulling a pro moto.
I think I looked at his results, and that's better than he's done there in the past too. Because I looked at his results beforehand. I almost picked him in fantasy.
Oh yeah,
because I was like, he's got the power to the ground behind him now.
Advantage.
Yeah, and hometown advantage. I was like, maybe he'll do. And then I looked at his results this last time he was there, and I was like, maybe not quite ready yet for fantasy.
Yeah, well, that's I mean, he's also coming off an injury, man. And this is his first pro outdoors of the year because of his injury. So it's I don't know him indoors though. Like when I was talking to him in Indiana, he was bad. He didn't get top 10, dude.
If I were him,
he did get top 10. He's like, I want top 5 or something like that. And I'm like, bro, you're doing way better than like a lot of the privateers are, like I like the hunger though.
If I were him, I'd take that and I'd go to a bar and be like, a few weeks ago, Jalik Swoll won an overall.
And I beat him.
This weekend, I beat him.
Right.
And I'd have a heyday with it.
Oh,
Nobody knows. Nobody understands why. I'd be like, look at this weekend. He won an overall. This weekend, I beat him. Buy me drinks.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have a good time with it. Anyways, so 250s were great. And so now our top 3 in the championship, Justin Cooper with 281, Jet Lawrence sitting in second with 273, Hunter 237, the little mystery man, Jeremy Martin, is in fourth with 220.
Does Jeremy Martin make it into the top 2? I'm not going to say win. I don't know if he can be consistent enough to actually win the championship.
So I mean, you're pretty confident he's going to get in the top 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Who else does he have in front of him that can actually challenge him? Dude? That can actually challenge him? Justin Cooper. Like, you didn't even let me finish, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, straight up though, Jeremy Martin is a better rider than both Lawrence brothers. He has way more experience on that bike in general and the track.
Yeah, he's got 10 years more experience on it.
Yeah, and with the tracks and everything else, like it's nothing. It'll come with the Lawrence brothers in due time, and they're doing excellent. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but in a heads-up race for the championship, I see Martin getting it over on both of them every weekend.
My only hesitation and surprise with Martin at this point is like, well, I'll go back to is the fact that he was injured and went out of the series for a couple races after that injury at Thunder Valley.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for that, I'd be like, oh yeah, clearly he's probably going to beat Justin Cooper in the championship. Just
Hey,
the fact
Jesse,
that he's doing what he's doing now is a whole nother thing.
Jesse wants to call in, dude. Let's try this thing.
Let's try it out. So, oh.
Can you hear me, Jesse?
I see him talking, but I don't hear him.
You got to mute your side, Jesse. The show. Mute the show. Hey, can you guys hear me? I can hear you.
I can hear him.
Can one of our commenters let us know if this is actually working? I know. Dude, it sounds crazy. Like, I'm not used to it.
Wait, are you sharing him in Restream? Because I muted myself in Discord and I don't hear him now. No, I don't think Ty can hear him.
Yeah, there definitely is. They said that they cannot. Oh, I have to actually turn it on. There we go.
Oh,
yeah. Hey guys, I'm super smart.
Heard him.
So, yeah.
Hey, it's learning. This is a whole new thing. It's a whole new world. So
Right.
we gotta figure this all out.
What about now? It looks like I'm picking up audio through my stuff. I can't tell.
Well,
oh, now they can hear you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Test. Good test. Good test.
So while we have you on the line real quick, what do you think about combined seasons in that survey, dude?
I think the survey looks like nonsense. I think it follows suit with organizational disorganization. I think that's par for the course for them. They probably could have made it a lot shorter and easier to get people to actually fill it out. I think it's a great idea combining the two series. I do agree with you though, Doug. I think that before they do that, they're going to have to tackle like how this is contractually is going to work out for the teams and the riders. Because what you don't want is to just alienate all of the smaller teams.
Yeah.
Because I think that would just be terrible for the sport. Because
it's made up by the guys that are showing up in a Ford Ranger to the Pro Nationals and working out of the back of that vehicle. 100%. I mean,
yeah.
That's I do agree with that. The factory stuff, I don't know. Maybe we'll see better contingency through or more consistent contingency through both Supercross and Motocross. And it might also breed new classes, I guess. You know,
that could be fun.
Yeah.
I know a lot of I've spoken to a lot of people recently who are eagerly awaiting some 350 classes.
Yeah, the 350 wouldn't be bad. I mean, that is kind of a, I don't know, dare I say it, like old man bike, you know? So it's I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I think we already have you can't even call the 250s an entry level anymore. You know, you have the mild and the wild basically, and the 350 would land somewhere in there. That's almost like a ghost pepper to a jalapeno, you know, and you're looking at somewhere like some weird red chili in the middle, Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, I don't know. I think that it would be cool to either see a true entry level class where we bring back like the 125s or the 252 strokes, or we just go crazy with it and just run an open class. Run what you brung, make sure it passes tech, and your shit's not spilling fuel everywhere, and have fun. Tiller's still got himself muted. I can see him
I can hear
talking.
you through Discord.
Oh, can you? This is fun. Let me unmute him on here real quick.
Oh, yeah, you had me muted. You goof.
Yeah.
Um,
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and restream, man.
yeah, because then it'll go.
Oh, it goes all
both
goofy,
ways.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't go both ways.
No.
Ha.
That if you did something like what you're talking about for other innovations, do a production motor class. Can't touch the motor. Everything else. How can we make our bikes go faster with like normal stuff that everybody can buy off the shelf?
I would love that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be just a fun way to get technology going for everybody.
Yeah, that would be fun. But that just is another class that Yamaha would probably dominate in.
I mean, there's some of that, but then that also really puts the other brands like we were talking about with KTM or something, be like, well, everybody's got, or if Yamaha's clearly got the better engine figured out right now, huh?
Yeah.
You guys need to figure it out.
What if you made the classes horsepower bracketed rather than displacement?
Possibly. I don't know. Maybe. You'd have to dyno every bike though.
You'd have to yeah, that would be hectic registration for sure.
If they do that, let's go buy a mobile dyno and just follow the circuit. And we will charge everybody $200. Put your bike on the dyno. I'm not going to tune
in the parking lot, just chugging beers and doing dynos.
Yeah, like I'm not going to tune it, but I will give you this sticker that says that you are certified for this particular. I'm 100% down.
Tricky though with like, oh well, I'm going to detune it for low horsepower, but I got a torquey ass motor.
Yeah,
that'll just blow everybody else out of the water.
Yeah,
it could be interesting, but yeah, something like that where there's a cap of some sort that makes it a little bit easier, and then you could get other innovations.
The production rule isn't bad. I mean, we're already seeing with the homologation rules that we already have in Pro Moto and Supercross, especially with the 250s, where they're not even allowed to run suspension that you can't go to your dealer and buy.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do like a straight production class? Change your gear ratios, slap some stickers on it, and have fun. I mean, take the emission stuff off, obviously, so that you don't have like really bad like overheating issues. Because I honestly don't think a lot of the bikes with the emission stuff will last a full 30-minute moto. And then obviously, like we were talking about in the Discord yesterday, gas would need a different tank. They cannot do a 30-minute moto on a OEM tank. So I don't know. There would obviously be some things that we would have to work through. However, I wouldn't mind something like that. I mean, what do you guys think that are listening? Open 125 production. What classes would you guys like to see? I'm just open for a class, dude. Like I just want another class to race on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little stagnant. I will definitely say that. But as far as like the innovation stuff goes, really what I always look for is what can we do to even the playing field as much as possible. Yeah. What we have now is between the factory guys and just the independent riders that are showing up, they are not, I mean, they're showing up at the same gate, but they are not on the same track. They are in two completely. They might as well be two different classes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're effectively running two classes at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. You got a lot of the factory guys and then the privateers and stuff like that. But a lot of the privateers are lucky where they can race like Thursday on the track and then race Saturday on the track. And then possibly if they're doing an amateur day on Sunday, they can still race that. Like they can, where the factory guys, they can't just show up and race a money race wherever they want, And I think that does give an advantage to the privateers, especially at like Washougal or Redbud or something like that, where they do have the amateur days just before the national.
Interesting.
They're figuring it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think we were talking about it during the Supercross season, man. We're starting to see the sport has needed a little bit of evolution, and that is we're heading that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not a moment too soon. We're back at the 80s, so we still have the full heyday of Supercross and outdoors to come. But if we can get them to combine both series for a national grand champion and really piss off the FIM, I am 200% down.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways they could do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people already come to this country to race Supercross and Motocross anyway. Obviously, look at the point standings in both classes. We have guys from all over the world that are here that started out in the MXGP and still came here. So I think if we just take that mindset and run with it, we could see some amazing things,
Yeah, there's a good percentage of the top 10 in both classes that fit into that scenario that you just laid out.
Yeah. Why not? Let's make it happen. But I don't know. We'll see.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump off this and go back to listening. I think this is a great test. I'm going to hit you guys up to figure out how you guys pulled it off. So
that I don't know if we could duplicate how we did it, man. we had so much feedback going from every speaker everywhere. I'm surprised I can still hear.
It was hilarious watching us both test it with effectively only devices we were using. We were like, well, somebody should be able to make this work.
Well, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, we'll run it down.
Yeah, see if you guys can get some more any of the people listening in to jump on the Discord and jump into it. See if we can test it out a little bit more. I'll just see if I can test it out on Thursday too.
Yeah, sounds good, man. That's
right.
We'll catch you later, Jesse. Thanks for calling in.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Peace out.
Bye.
Peace.
So, with that, is there anybody that wants to talk 450s with us? If you're on the Discord, go ahead and jump in. I know Michael's on there, but he said he was having some internet issues. The only thing that we ask is when you do call in, please mute the show in the background because, like, I know at least for me, I hear all of the audio through my monitor in my fancy headset, and it will absolutely destroy my brain. So if you do call in, please just kind of mute it in the background and we can talk through Discord. I've been trying to get old Brandon Carter to jump on the Discord for a while, but he has not done that yet. If you do want to join in, just jump in. Let me see if I can show you here real quick. Make this bigger, push all the buttons. Let me maximize it. Too many buttons, man.
She said.
So if you look, you'll see live show waiting. Just jump in there, shoot me or Tiller like a private message and just say, hey, I'm in here. I'm ready to go. Tiller's supposed to be monitoring the Discord, but we get a little heated with our discussions sometimes. So just shoot us a message if it's been a little bit, and we will try to get you in. You said this is all new to us. We're just messing with stuff. The show is in evolution. So anyway, back to the 450s.
So 450 now.
Yeah. Let me see. Bring up that page. 450s. That's
So let's see, 450s. Let's just kind of run through it real fast. So Moto 1, another unexpected Honda hole shot with Sexton. Kind of the theme for him this weekend. He got a hole shot. He said between he and his mechanic, they said they found out that he was his start issue was related to just him revving the shit out of the bike, and he wasn't getting traction well. So they actually developed him a start map this week.
The old over rev. You got to watch out for those on the Yamahas too.
That allowed him to. I think it was he was revving too high, so they put a map on there so that he would hit a early rev limiter and know that he was revving too high, because they can't hear their bikes on the line. Long story short, they gave him a new starting map specifically for starting, which clearly works. He got 2 great starts, nailed the first one. Go from there. Like I said earlier, this was another one where you could see Anstey's bike right up front in the start, and that whole mess of bikes coming around the corner. And that was exciting. AP did not have that great of a start. He got caught up with Noren, I think, and Noren may or may not have had a little bit of an issue earlier in the week that kind of hurt himself, but that Noren ended up not finishing first moto and didn't even start the second one, if I remember correctly. So AP didn't get a great start, but he did a hell of a charge through there. Ferrandis ended up 9th off the start. It wasn't so great. Sipes was in 10th place after lap 1. Woohoo. Talk about the Grand National champion right there.
Right. If only we could bring out Sipes Cross.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for Ryan Sipes to get 17th overall against guys that do nothing but train for motos.
Dude, and he went right back to the trailer, changed, was heading to the airport to fly to Peoria so that he could race a TT and then go home for the week and then go to Italy for the ISDE.
Yep. Sick man.
He's my hero, dude. Like I wish I could have his life.
Oh, the best part in this week in the post race reviews that Mathis does, it was hilarious. I knew you would laugh at this. He was interviewing Sipes and he was telling us like, "Yeah, Sipes, you were on my fantasy team," and I threw in like another question with it, and Sipes was like, "Well, first off, I don't care about your damn points." And then went off and like just casually kept going with the conversation. And then Mathis brought it up again later, and he was like, and secondly, as I said earlier, I don't care about your damn points. And then just casually like super, he wasn't like rude and all the rest of it. He just like threw in, he's like, I don't care about your damn points. And just talking about the race, and they were all like happy. And it was funny. I knew you'd laugh at that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he did that. Craig, it was kind of, I don't think they showed it during qualifying when I was watching it, but he was running behind a little bit. He had another crazy ass get off like he did in Southwick, except for this one was crazier. It was kind of funny. You could see it. They were coming around the corner. He went up against it looked like he went up against the berm as they come out of the woods, take the sharp left corner, going across like that kind of whoop-ish section. But he went off to the edge of the track. The bike went crazy and he went flying off. But as he was like flying off the bike and flying through the air, you could see the guy behind him, not even close, completely unrelated. There's a privateer guy coming around the corner. It looks like he wrecked because he just watched Craig wreck. It was hilarious to watch in the broadcast when they did it. But yeah, he was.
And I can just imagine Weege and Langston, man. I miss that part of it.
Yeah. But the funny part is like they didn't even say anything about it. Like at the time, you just like saw them talking about Craig, but then all of a sudden in the background you see a guy just like completely weeding himself at the same time, unrelated. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so Craig, weeding himself, riding after that, and he ended up with an 8.8 for 8th overall in the weekend. That was pretty good.
He's good on a 450 outdoors though, man. He's a ninja, dude. Like, you don't really expect it, and then all of a sudden you're like, who is that next to me? What is 29? Like, who is that?
After he got his
Yeah.
shit together and he said, I'm tired of getting tense this season, he's done nothing but really perform, and it's been amazing.
Oh yeah.
There was actually so the story of the top part of the class for basically for both motos is Ferrandis, Sexton, Tomac, believe it or not, Marv, Webb, and Barsha, if I didn't say it already. Kenny kind of started up front, both of them, faded back on both of them. He later said on his social media himself, he said he's suffering with some sickness and he's not doing well. Read into that what you want about his long-term endurance fitness, but now he's got 2 weekends and 3 weeks off. Let's hope that he can, get it together through these last 5 to be a challenge for Ferrandis, but we'll see. Webb had a great start. There was a part where Marvin and Webb were running neck and neck with each other in 4th, 5th. But Tomac was just on rails the whole time, man. Catching up, passing guys, making moves. He finished the weekend with a 2-2. And his starts were 8-7. Just on rails the whole time. Couldn't catch Chase on the first one, and there's no way we thought he was going to catch Dylan on the second moto, but it came close. It came really close. Actually, right when he was catching up to Ferrandis on the second moto, so after settle in on the 5th lap, Tomac's running 2:14s, 4 laps, diving to 2:15s. Same with Ferrandis, diving into 2:15s. Ferrandis' fastest lap was actually lap 10 with a 2:14 and a half. Tomac's still doing 2:15, 2:15, 2:15s. And then he's slowly catching Ferrandis at this point because Ferrandis is running the lap traffic, slowing down a little bit. Right when he's on him, Tomac just drops a 2:13 and a half out of nowhere. Fastest lap of the race of anybody by far. And just they're right there on it. And he was on him all the way to the finish line. And then he saw right there at the whoops that he just wasn't going to be able to catch him. But Tomac had this sick line where he was kind of mostly blitzing through the whoops, but he would just go really fast into the finish line jump. And then on the downside of the finish line jump, there was kind of a little roller in the hill. And most guys were landing kind of before it or kind of on it. But Tomac, the way he was flying over that last jump, just launched and landed on the backside of it. And it was just enough of a little time. He was making up a lot of time there. And it was actually insane because he didn't see anybody else doing it the rest of the time. But he said it was kind of awesome hearing Eli after the race, man. He was happy and he was excited. And it was funny because he was talking about he just found some lines there that he didn't see earlier in the race where basically it made it sound like he was just ping-ponging back and forth between some of those berms and some of the 180s and the tighter corners, like the switchbacks. Yeah. And he literally said he was just bouncing from berm to berm, just going through, just hauling ass.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, though.
And yeah, that's what he was doing. He was killing it, man. Like I said, he was putting in fast times, both faster than everybody around him, just passing guys, killing it. And Barsha didn't have the greatest starts, but he just didn't have something. But I mean, he still ended up with 4th overall in the week. Or no, wait, no, I was looking at the wrong sheet. He ended up with 5th overall on the weekend. His second start wasn't that great. It made it hard. He could only get up to 7th. And that's what I was saying earlier, that I think a lot of this track is there's just not a lot of really great passing opportunities. So it takes longer. It takes like an extra lap to pass somebody when you're running, 15, 16 laps. One extra lap to pass somebody because you got to wait for the perfect time to do it just makes it harder to make up ground. And I think some of these guys could have been moving faster. It just made it hard to pass.
Yeah.
But, Marv put in a hell of a good qualifying session, came out, did great. He did it at a 3.5. Webb actually got it together. He got a whole shot in the second moto. He's been great getting starts the past weekend, but he actually held it together and was riding up front with guys. Maybe that was because he was harder for him to get past and he was riding a wide bike. But either way, he still finished the races faster, or better than he was. But back to Barsha, he was doing good, riding good, making that LE gear out there looking sick. There were plenty of times on the last big jump before the 180, before they go back into the woods before the finish line. There was a couple shots there where they got a bunch of cool guys, but they're just floating through the air. And I still remember Barsha just flying through there, always looking good sideways on the bike. Looking good. There was actually, I also laughed at this. GL made a comment one time when they had Barsha just talking about the way he's riding. He literally said, "I wonder if he has to run a bigger gas tank." And I laughed because I was like, yes, he does. He
runs an enduro tank, man.
Yeah, we figured that out. Yes, he does have to run a bigger gas tank. Not necessarily because he's Barsha, but funny enough, he does have to run a bigger gas tank on that bike. I think the 450 motos, not as exciting as Dylan and Barsha at Millville. These were still, the first one was still exciting to watch. The second one, same thing. Huge gaggle of Yamahas out front. Looked like they were going to get, Hondas right behind them. But then all of a sudden, Webb, actually, when you watched the start, you didn't even see Webb there. All of a sudden,
pulled off the whole shot.
He was just there. Just snuck in out of nowhere with the whole shot. AP got a much better start. And then you could see him. There was one spot where he just railed the outside of one of the corners to get around Webb because they kind of swallowed back up around Webb after he got the whole shot. And then that one was just a matter of Tomac flying through the pack. It was insane. It was worth it to watch just to see Tomac just keep going and charging and charging. It was awesome. Yeah. And then, at the end of it, Chase comes out with the overall by 1 point because of the way the point system works. He was super excited on the podium, man. That was exciting to see him get that because he was excited about his whole shot after the first moto, and then to see him so excited and the fans super happy for him. That's just the great thing again about seeing the fans back is seeing them, the guys on the podium get to be so excited about the fans. I think they said this was the biggest outdoor attendance they've ever had on record at Washougal.
It's because everybody knew Sean was going to be there, too.
Oh, fuck yeah. Their Bro Taco Man was going to be there. They wanted to go see him and those pit vipers.
Right.
And then Dylan was actually kind of cool on the podium, too, for the overall. He outright paid some respect to talking about how cool it was. Or I don't know, maybe he didn't say how cool it was, but he paid some respect to Tomac, talking about him as a competitor. And, having to charge hard because of him and knowing that he was there. Talking about how great it was racing beside him. I thought that was kind of cool for him to throw that out there and, really give him some credit on the stage like that as a competitor.
That's the one thing that was killing me just today perusing through the forums was everyone bitching that Sexton was intentionally blocking Tomac. And I'm like, you guys realize it's a race, right?
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. Like everybody's out there racing for the same.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's not like a guy's 3 laps down, going for it. Actually, that was a thing in the first 250 moto after Joe went down. There was a couple guys talking about how, they would catch up to Joe because they technically lapped him, the leaders, but then he'd let him around him. But then you could tell he was like, I'm letting you guys around because I know you're in, but I'm still going to race the shit out of you.
Yeah, because, we're going to push each other.
It is. Yeah, that's a scenario. But yeah, if you're on the same lap and you're all in the top 20, man, you got to earn it. That's we're all out here at the same time. Until they tell me you and I are not on the same racetrack, you got to get around me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll always stand by that.
A position's a position, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
and the same thing for Chase. Like it's his overall. If he would he's got to defend that shit. Because
if he would have let Tomac by,
because he knew if he let Tomac by, there was a chance he could catch Ferrandis, and if Tomac would have caught Ferrandis, the overall would have been different.
Plus,
Tomac would have been overall. Yeah.
Yeah. They're still racing for a position, not just the overall, but just in that moto.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was second and third position. Yeah. Like, get out of here, freaking
Yeah.
Vitards.
So we got Chase with the overall with a 1-3, 45 points for the weekend. Tomac second overall with a 2-2, which is exciting for him. And like I said, just to see him so excited about it was really cool because normally he's pretty robotic.
Yeah.
Dylan Frandis with a third overall with a 5-1. Marv with a 3-5.
Boy breaking the top 5, man.
Yeah. And then Justin Barsha with the fifth with a 4-7. Cooper Webb right behind them. And 4AP just a victim of that first moto pileup. He could have done a little bit better. He went 4-4 in the second one, quietly because of what else was going on around him. But, he made Tomac work for it when he had to get around him too.
Him and Tomac always race each other hard. I've noticed that. Well, not always, but this whole 2021 season from the first race at Supercross until now, whenever they get around each other, man, they both push.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Tomac has him off of fitness, but Aaron can't push as long and as hard as Tomac can. That's just, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can see it. Aaron's even said it. He's like, he's in better shape than I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just the nature of how it works. It was a great racing. We still got Brandon Hartrath still pulling off great top 15 finishes with a 13 overall. Is to wear a 13-15. That's pretty exciting. Bogle still killing it out there. Cody Shock's back now that his chains aren't breaking. Ben LeMay's, coming out there and killing it on top. After kind of he's not racing that many of them this season. Anstey's up there. The fact that Dean's still up there with what he's going through is amazing.
Oh yeah,
that's great. Summer Rodbell, he's doing okay. 25th. He didn't score any points this weekend, but he's still killing it. Carson Brown. Somebody owes me $5. I bet somebody $5 that Carson Brown would score points this weekend on the 252 stroke, and he did. He didn't fit. He didn't come out for the second moto, but he got 20.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
He got 18th in the
about that.
18th in the first one. I do not know why he didn't come out, but I bet we can find out real fast. I bet we can find out. Carson Brown. Oh, no. Looks like just a bunch of pit bike footage. Never mind. No updates from the weekend. It's pit bike footage.
It'll come out because that's a great finish for him to not.
I know. Here it is.
The second one.
After giving my shoulder a beating in Moto 1, I wasn't going to be able to ride and hang on in the second Moto. Yeah, because he hurt his shoulder the week before, and so it was kind of iffy that he was going to be able to do that much. So, yeah, I think he just riding the piss out of that 252 stroke probably was, and that's the danger, or not the danger, but, for fantasy or whatever, but that's the nature of those guys that aren't racing for championship points. They don't need to go out and race Moto 2. They don't have to. They can come out, race Moto 1, and let somebody else race Moto 2.
Because he probably raced at PIR earlier that
on
week.
Thursday night.
Yeah. That was a big money race. I think it was like $5,000 to win the pro.
Oh, really?
The pro
they
class.
Had a lot of guys there.
Oh, yeah. Dude, $5,000 to win is huge. I know guys from around here that drove all the way out there to race in that.
It's a killer one. That's about it for the 450s, which leaves us with championship standings of Dylan Friend is 303. Kenny's at 256. Tomac's at 249. Barsh at 239. Sexton is in fifth with 238. And AP is right there at 217 behind him. So the top five could get interesting. The top three is still up for grabs. But it's looking like Dylan might have this. He's if he stays consistent, it's going to be hard for somebody to make up a whole race weekend on him.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, he'd have to have some string of bad luck, multiple weekends. We got 5 rounds left. You'd have to have a string of bad weekends, and one person would have to be able to capitalize on it. And that's the fun thing about this class right now, is outside of Dylan. But even then, it's toss ups. You got Barsha doing great. You got Tomac doing consistently pretty good. You got AP, up there fighting with them sometimes. You got Marv stealing points now. It's going to be hard for one guy to be like, no, Dylan's going to get fourth every time, and I'm going to go win the rest of them. That's hard.
Yeah, that's especially because it is Ferrandez, man. Say what you want about him, but that dude can ride a dirt bike. It doesn't matter if you like him or not. That dude will outride anybody, and he's proving that. That's
kill it.
I don't know. What else do we got to talk about, man? It doesn't look like anybody else wants to call in. So,
let me think. I'm trying to think all the side stuff we can save for one of the shows in the next 3 weeks between now and the next race. We're going to have 3 more shows before the next race, or 3 opportunities for shows. We might take an off day on one of those.
Yeah.
So Doug can watch his dirty race quad.
It didn't get too dirty this weekend. I did kind of I broke it. So let's see, what do we have coming up? So we just ran snowshoe. We got the Loretta Lynn's GNCC, which is e-mountain bikes only. September 11th and 12th in Beckley, West Virginia, we have the Mountaineer at Summit Betchel Reserve. It's that is a rough race. It's a lot like snowshoe, all rocks. It's rough. Was that September? Yeah, they take August off. So I don't know. Got some local races coming up.
What do you got coming
up? Let's see. I would have to look at my little Excel spreadsheet, but it's I know for a fact that I'll probably stream it in the Discord. If you're not already on Discord, jump on the Discord, because Loretta Lynn's is coming up August 2nd through the 7th. And I watch those religiously, those in Mini-O's every year. Let's see. In Ohio, we have on the 7th of August, we have the Whiskey River Race for Indiana cross country in Milton, Kentucky. The 14th, we have the Ohio Cross Country Series racing, the Death Valley Race at South Salem, Ohio. The 21st is the XCCR, the Extreme Cross Country Racing at East Fork MX, which is the one that Aaron Plessinger's dad does. That's in New Vienna.
Is that one you went to last year?
That's the one I went to on the 17th. I had the Ohio cross country race there on the 17th.
I was thinking there was one last year you went to with AP's dad that he ran. Is that the one you're talking about? You said the one he does every year?
Yeah, same track. Yeah. So that one was a team race. That's the fun part about doing like the cross country races around here, is at the end of the year, there's like 2 or 3 team races where you like team up with somebody else and you each do 2 laps and high five, and then the other guy goes out and you race. I think last year it was like 3 hours, man. It was a long race, but you get to take a break after 2 laps and you just hope that your buddy doesn't get stuck or wrecked or mess up the spot too much. I think I'll probably try to do the Ohio and the Extreme with my brother this year, which will be his first time ever racing a quad. I mean, he's ridden my quad not very much at all. So hopefully I have enough GoPro batteries, because I will try to record this. And it is that one of them is typically at East Fork MX, and they have some pretty big jumps that they send all of us cross country guys. Like the jumps that they won't even let the C-class guys jump on moto days. They're like, go have fun on your quads. Like, fuck. dude. Like straight up, like 2 stories. I'm like,
Just go for it, man. Just go for it.
I still got a bum wrist, man. It's not the jumping part; it's the landing. I'm not built for it. I'm like 195 pounds on a 400-pound machine or something like that, dude. Like, I fall out of the sky like a fucking rock. I am not a bird.
Yeah, Nick, I know bird bones.
Yeah. But so it's we'll see how that goes. I might do that, but pay attention in the Discord the 2nd through the 7th, even during the day. I'll typically what happens is I end up modding, being a chat mod for the live streams from Racer TV, but I will for sure throw it up in the Discord just to share it with everybody, and then we can sit around and bullshit. I will probably be at work, but I'll do my best. I have some online classes that I have to take right in the middle of this from like the 3rd to the 6th or something like that. So hopefully I can just mute it on there and watch Moto all day, and I will be happy.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. August is usually when everybody's kind of taking a break. So
yeah, we got two weekends off, 3 full weeks off in August, with the next race back being August 14th. And then it's the last 5 rounds in a row, starting with Unadilla, Budds Creek, Ironman,
August 28th.
Fox
Still
Raceway,
coming up?
Paula. I am unsure of the exact plans yet. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm desperately trying to figure it out.
What is there to figure out, man? Just throw your sleeping bag on the back of the GS, fill it up with gas, and start riding.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. My plan is ideally to take that Friday and the following Monday off, so like the ride back home is gnarly. Yeah. The ride up, whatever. Just get up in the morning, suck it up, go set up tent. Can't wake up. Race day. The Sunday Monday thing would be better. Trying to go back into work and do my job after that weekend. Everybody would be like,
"Oh yeah,
what are you doing,
that's." Oh yeah. Hopefully the weather holds off, man.
That would be also the part that I'm kind of. I need to make sure there's a proper contingency plan in case it's a downpour. Because I don't want to set up an entire plan for camping, and all of a sudden I get up there and it's a monsoon.
If you have to, you can keep your bike in my garage. We got plenty of nice hotels around here with good food.
Ooh.
So, and then
good food.
Yeah, and then we can just ride over there together. So
that wouldn't be a bad idea. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. But yeah, after Ironman, we got Fox Raceway Paul, and then the last round, going back to Hangtown, man.
Yay. I hate the Cali tracks, man.
Yeah, they're not that exciting, are they? I'm not looking forward to watching Fox Raceway again. There's like 2 parts of that track that are exciting, and then that's it.
What? The entry and the exit of the track? We're like, yeah, moto. And then you're like, yeah, we get to leave.
Yeah, if you're actually going there. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd want to go watch that race in person. It doesn't look like it's a great viewing racetrack.
It's like all flat with a bunch of bulldozed hills, man. Like,
yeah, and even in the one big hill, you can only really see from one spot kind of what's going on, and then if you're there, you can't see the rest of the track. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Ironman and Redbud are kind of the same way too. You kind of pick your poison. Do you want to watch all the technical turns and like rollers and stuff like that, or do you want to watch them completely fucking send it?
I still don't think they don't look like they're anywhere near as bad as Paulo, though. I could see your point where it's like there's definitely parts where you can't see it. Like at Ironman, you're kind of like you can see the rollers leading up to Godzilla in that kind of area, or you can see that other side of the track where they go underneath the bridge and then do the 180s to the finish line. You can see one of those two, and that's about it.
Either get to see them jump Godzilla up and down and the tunnel jump, or you get to see them battle through the rollers in the tight 180s.
Yeah.
There is no real in between. Redbud is you either get to see him hit Larocco's leap and that big tabletop where Dino decided to eject Ocido, or you get to watch the whole rest of the track. There's not really, and like Paula, Glen Helen, Hangtown, all that. Like, to me, the best track to watch is probably High Point, up there in PA, because you can just chill at one of the top of the hills and see quite a lot of the track, because it's basically a pasture. It's not like Iron Man where you have all the trees, or Redbud where they made all the spectator area the center of the track. So if you're on the outside of the track, you can't see anything. I don't know.
Unadill's probably pretty decent to see, like a fair half of it, right? With the way it goes on that hill.
Yeah. Millville is not bad either. Like I would definitely go back and watch that one too.
Millville, you can see a good bit of it. It's hard to really see who's who, but you can see stuff. You can see a lot of the track from most of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Southwick, yeah, because it's all right there on top of each other. It just
it just overlaps.
So much of it. Yeah,
it's like a mountain bike track with really big jumps, dude.
It's not spread out too far. It's just wound in one spot.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't have a lot to add, man. I got to go get my kiddos because they hate me on Mondays because we don't get to ride bikes, but it'll be all right.
Get 'em.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk Supercross schedule next time we're on.
No, not until after Moto. I refuse to talk anything about that until after Moto is done.
Dude, we got to get everybody hyped up, man. You just made me sad because I was thinking, oh, that means it's right around the corner, but then I was blindly excited about it's only a few months away, and no, we still got 5 months before it even starts.
10 motos left. 10 motos left, and then we can talk Supercross. But don't you fuck with the sanctity of Supercross, bringing in that Supercross stuff. There is no grand champion yet. So,
we can make up our own.
Right. But other than that, guys, thanks for dealing with our little technical innovation of stacking stuff on top of each other. And Jesse's making fun of me. I'm a moto guy. I can't help it. It's I feel like you're either one or the other. You tolerate both, but you are secretly one or the other. But it is.
That's what that survey made you sound like, right? It's either, oh no, they're all the same thing, or no, they're not even the same sport.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's the same sport with two different disciplines. Like, get the fuck out of here, Feld. And then you try to disguise it like you're MX Sports. Get out of here.
I'd love to see the presentation of that data after they get all the answers back.
I wonder if they'll finish off
with it'd be nice if they made it public. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, let's run down this real quick.
Sure that Justin Cooper asked that?
Yeah, bring it up, man.
I got it up. Let's see if we can make it.
I need your screen.
Oh, did I not? Oh, no, I'm not loading. Where's this tab button? Oh, I didn't realize I stopped sharing it. There we go.
All right. Let me turn the chat off real quick. So we're going to show you guys the Justin Cooper wreck real quick, just in case you haven't seen it. We're doing it through Insta. Hopefully the quality is pretty decent. This is on his page, yeah? Oh,
yeah. Somebody else recorded it, but he shared it on his... one guy comes through, and here he is right there. You can see him. He's just coming up, and all of a sudden just...
bloop. Nailed
out of nowhere. And then as GL said, it's like a deer ran out of nowhere, and there's been some pretty funny photoshops of Justin Cooper with a deer on the track. Actually, when I first heard about it, before I even watched the race, I was kind of wondering if there was some truth to maybe like there was actually a deer that ran out on the track.
Oh yeah,
because there were so many jokes about it. I was like, okay, maybe this is actually going to be hilarious. Yeah, and then and then when I finally watched it, there actually was nothing, and just that's why it was so funny, because it looked like he got hit by a deer, and he did not. He was just swapping going up the hill.
Let's do these awards real quick, dude. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Sunstar Driver of the Race. These same guys as last week. We had Plessinger with plus 22 on the day and Joe Shimoda with plus 24. So neither one of them had quite the same amount of passes as they did last week, but they were still the top two, or respectively the top guy in their class for passing everybody. The Bro Taco sauced it. I'm picking J Mart because that dude is coming out of his injury like a boss. What about you?
I think my the sauced it moment is definitely Jay Coop.
Yeah.
He clearly sauced it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he put all the sauce on it. It got a little hot coming over that. He wasn't ready.
Yeah, Sean snuck up, put some of that brand new Radberry in the gas tank, and he was on the back of that hill, and it just went just straight in.
Other than that, guys, we're going to run down the sponsors real quick. We got Bro Taco Hot Sauce back there. Sean adding the old heat to J Coop's bike. BroTacoFoods.com. Use code PTTG for 20% off. We also got Sunstar Sprockets and Chains, sunstar-braking.com. Use code PTTG30 during checkout to get 30% off your order. Oh, and
Wait,
Jesse says,
what is
power
this?
to the ground, power the number 2, theground.com. New website August 1st, because Jesse likes to touch stuff, and I totally condone it. Yeah. So new website with the Radberry August 1st. Yeah. Radberry dropped on August 1st.
Bro Taco getting a new website?
I have no idea. I'm superbly confused. Oh, yeah. Bro Taco's getting a new website.
We basically get a new website every week, though. So
yeah, he gets bored on his lunch break and just starts hitting ones and zeros and stuff like that. And then also, please don't forget, this podcast is powered by Nova Pro Media. That is novapro.media. Building out our website. Apparently working on the Bro Taco website as well. He's the one that gets us all set up to push all the buttons without getting seriously hurt and have the cool new call-in feature now. So if you do have any questions about anything, stop over at novapro.media and get yourself squared away. Until next time, folks, we will catch you later, and hopefully we get some call-ins that don't actually work for the show. But
yeah,
we'll get it all sorted out. Now that you guys saw how it all works and all stuff like that, we look forward to hearing from you guys, not just in chat, but also in the Discord, which if you are not part of our Discord, stop over at power2theground.com, get you the link, or
Facebook.
Hit us up. Yep, on Facebook, Power to the Ground Podcast. Other than that, we will catch you all later. Peace.
Peace.